Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters Money Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Ashley Elsner on the line, and she's COO and founder over at ArteryPay. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Adam. We're really happy to be on the show today.
So I'm excited to get into today's talk, so some of the challenges that cannabis companies face in banking. But before we do that, let's just start off with an overview of what you're doing over at ArteryPay. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Sure, very happy to. So ArteryPay works on unifying the compliance that's involved in financial institution work, as well as transactions, so that you have the data flow not being interrupted basically by additional hands having to touch it, and it gets to where it's supposed to go in the compliance department like almost immediately. And so you don't have any separation between the systems, which ends up decreasing the cost for financial institutions to do things like supporting the cannabis space, where really the compliance that's associated with banking it is very challenging and very involved. And so what we do, how we do this is we have an easy to use Venmo-like platform that basically the user downloads it like any other digital wallet, connects it to their bank account through a streamlined process where they input their mobile banking credentials rather than in any way putting in their actual bank data like the accounting number, the account number, and the routing number, which is, of course, that's private. You really want to keep that secure, and securely encrypts all of that information going back and forth and provides a ledger-based system in the back office side of it to make it very easy to integrate into other systems as well as transact digitally through your mobile phone at any cannabis dispensary. So super simple for the consumer, even though it sounded like a complicated explanation.
What are some of the challenges that you're finding, or that the industry in general is finding in banking? Because I don't think everybody listening may or may not be aware of those.
Right. So the challenge to banking cannabis is multifaceted. Financial institutions are uncomfortable with it for a number of reasons. One of which, of course, is the reputation that's associated with it. Secondly, they name the federal prohibition, but really that's actually a logical gap between they can and they won't, right? Like they can't and they won't. And then the final piece to this that's very challenging actually is the compliance burden that has been put on financial institutions for working with the space. And so that sounds like I'm coming at it from the other end of it, right? But this is the thing. In understanding where a problem originates, you really need to go to the source of the problem, and that's really the cost of compliance, because every single transaction that happens that's related to cannabis has to be reported to government, every single one, and that's not the case with any other industry.
Any type of trends that you're noticing on the tech side of things for solving these banking problems?
So that's the problem. Actually, no, there's not a lot of tech solutions that are out there except for what we're providing. And, our platform that the banks are looking at has been described by, general counsels and chief compliance officers at various banks as Verafin on steroids. Verafin is a very strong compliance group that originated out of Canada. And what they provide basically is some automation to the financial, basically anti-money laundering Bank Secrecy Act compliance that goes along with the space. And they do not actually operate in the cannabis space. So when you start looking at technology trying to catch up in general, banks have not really had any updates to their back office infrastructure in over 50 years. Wow. I mean, it's incredible. It's truly incredible that so much of this is still coded in COBOL, which is something that isn't even taught in computer science anymore. It's not even taught.
That's striking. It's just one of those things, those legacy systems. It's hard for, to move to these big institutions and get them up to date. So I guess that's why a lot of these challenger banks and just these smaller banks, I've seen it with these integrations. And I was working with one the other day. I had them on the show, and they were talking about like Zapier integrations into the bank and like how things were automatically done. And I'm like, oh my gosh, could I imagine like a Zapier integration at Bank of America? Is not happening.
That's exactly right. And this is the thing. FinTech actually is able to solve a lot of the challenges that are associated with the high cost of banking the cannabis space. And so what we've done, everybody on my team is coming from the financial space. My background is financial institution law and operations. My compatriots there, we've got one that was a former investment banker and actually was also the chief operating officer for DeviantArt before they were acquired by Wix. So he's got a very good beat on the consumer engagement side as well. And I think we've got some very exciting things to actually shift the marketing of financial institutions as well, the way that they interact with their consumers, but that's down the road. As for our chief technology officer, he's an old school IBMer who designed systems for, the Department of Defense and the FBI and did anti-money laundering software deployments across Wells Fargo and designed transaction systems for Bank of America. So this is a guy who really knows what he's doing. I really know what I'm doing. And we know where the challenges come from. And this is actually not a legal challenge. This is, like you said, a legacy system challenge. What we're able to do with our platform is give your compliance team back like 80% of their time. So wow. The administrative work that goes into this, we are able to really streamline that process for them, such that, the MRB program, MRB stands for Marijuana Related Business Program, that is able to be streamlined and pretty effectively done with, much fewer staff. And that's the thing. Compliance in the back office of financial institutions is already way, way overworked because of the amount of administrative work and busy work that they're required to do as a part of the function of their position.
Which may definitely be an understatement to all the compliance people out there. We get it. We're sorry. Yeah. They're companies like amazing companies like ArteryPay are working hard to try to make your life easier because we know every year they dump new rules and regulations and you just have to do it.
Yes, and to make them feel better about their situation, I understand that the reason why a lot of financial institutions have not wanted to shift is because of really they don't want to do the update because they really see it as a cost and not as a revenue generator. Well, now you've got a revenue generator actually tacked on top of that compliance cost. So we think that by providing a solution that makes the cannabis banking system so much easier for them and so much more straightforward and streamlined, that we're going to be able to get them to adopt this, as basically as an entry point for helping, modernize the rest of their compliance infrastructure as well. That's the goal. That's a long-term goal.
No, I love it. So if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on ArteryPay, what's the best way for them to follow up?
Sure. So they should check out www.arterypay.com. And actually, our product, the payment product, this very simple Venmo payment product, payment product, is going to be available in Massachusetts and Nevada very, very soon, probably in the first half of the year. And it will be available to your purchases in dispensaries as well as making purchases online to streamline if you wanted to go pick up or if you wanted delivery. This is going to be a much simpler way to do things. It's very easy to use. You can actually download the app through Google Play and the App Store, iTunes App Store. And it is no cost to the consumer. No cost. So, they've been paying a lot either with debit or they've been having to go through ATMs and being charged those fees. This is no fee to the consumer. And it's very, it's also simple business, like small business pricing. think square rates of, 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So small business rates, we don't agree with using high risk rates because it basically incentivizes people to try to say that they're doing other things in order to get a cheaper rate. We're just doing our best to try to give everybody a very transparent, very easy to use system that's going to make this problem go away.
That's awesome. It's perfect. Well, hey, Ashley, thanks again for coming on the show. Love to hear all the great stuff you're doing over at Artery Pay and kind of greasing the wheels of banking over there and making people stay compliant and all great things there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, then give that a subscribe and leave us some comments in the comment section. Love to hear what you're up to also. And Ashley, thanks again for coming on the show.